Okay, this is an oak here. This oak tree's got like a blight on it. And it's got to come out because it's dying. So we're going to walk around here now. We've been working on this. The people I'm with, we're restoring this whole side to natural landscape. There's a lot of bulbs like what's there. We're working on this for 2 days between the three of us trying to pull up all the bulbs out of here. It's been a pain. Trust me. And we've gone down a foot and it's still coming up with bulbs. So if you ever plant bulbs, you want to change this stuff to something else in the future, you better think about it because they just multiply like crazy. Okay, so we're going to go down here a little bit. See, there's some natural wildflowers back in here. The different ones down at the bottom. There's a lot of oaks growing. One thing I wanted to show you was, I'll go over here. There's a whole strand of trees here dying off. Okay, so you see the pine trees I was talking about? See, they're getting decimated. I think it's, from what I'm seeing, it's all over. Now, I'm up in the middle of Wisconsin, and the deal with that is a lot of these pine trees that were planted here were for pulp mills. So they're lodgepole pines. Largely don't get that much bigger than what you're seeing here. And it's just more tall, and they use that for paper mills. Yes, there's still paper mills. Okay, so anyway, you see here's a good example of a forest dying off. Right? Now, unfortunately, there are some seedlings growing. There are one or two here. There's a couple mixed up in the grass, but here's the problem. You know, when you have a fire that goes through this, what you want to do is you want to make sure you keep this grass to a minimum and it doesn't get up in the trees. So sometimes the seedlings off of these pine trees, depends on the species, they germinate when they get heat behind it. Well, in this case, it's a little different story. The seedlings, the seed pods here around this, in these woods over here, around this lake, this is Lake Arrowhead, yeah, seem to be doing a pretty good job. I'm actually thinking about digging one up and taking it home with me because I can't. Well, here's a seedling right here, for instance. See that right there? It's growing. So when you come over here to these stumps and you look at what is growing, there's a bunch of stuff, little seedlings growing in here that are oaks. There's a lot of wildflower. There's an oak right there. See? But yeah, I get looking at the trees. See, like this one had heart rot in it. Okay, so you could still count the rings and go from the center out and figure out how old this is. My guess, this is probably a couple hundred years old because of the climate it's in. It didn't grow very fast. So this thing here might be a good piece of turning material. I don't know. I actually thought about making that into some kind of a table decoration. Now I don't know if I will or not. But if you look around, there's oak trees everywhere. There's one there, which is a good thing. It's the woods are planting itself. There's a good example, just laying on here, and it'll probably, the seeds of pods will pop out. And now this is what I think is kind of unusual though. It's this right here. Look at how it twists. Isn't that bizarre? It's there's a bunch of these trees that twist like this when they're rotten. Good critter trees. There's another one right there. Yeah, yesterday I was fishing out here off the dock, and I saw a loon. I never thought I'd see a loon. That's a bird, by the way. It's I don't think which species it's from. Either it's a duck species or a goose species. But the loon was out diving for fish down here. You ever seen what a loon does? It's pretty funny. Now, here's something flying around up here. I don't know what that is. It's got something in his head. Oh, it must be a hawk. Anyway, these tree species out here, I'll see if I can take you another spot where you can see them. They're on the road, and that's because that's all done by the company that is in Nakusa, Wisconsin. It's a paper mill there. There used to be one in Wisconsin Rapids, but it shut down. But all the trees around where I'm at, Rome, Wisconsin, it's all in a row, and they were from the paper mill. So this ground cover right here, the way this is all natural. This is the way it should stay. And the only problem is sometimes you need to come through and mitigate this is a little bit too long. So some of the other grasses that you would plant, like in the backyard, have overtaken a little bit. There are natural plants up back in there. But, you notice in that pine tree dying off here, the little seedling. Here's another oak right there. There's a seedling. The idea is to keep that tree, whatever that tree has, to this, keep it away from that so it doesn't die. It's hard to see, but sometimes they got white pine moth. In these types of trees, you might get white pine moth bugs in here. And there's a lot of dead trees that need to be taken out. Anyway, this is a job for your local forester. Look at all the oaks that are growing, which is a good thing. I don't know how many of these would make it, but it's also in a cooler, wetter climate. And so these kinds of oaks will grow a little bit faster, but they're still slow growing. It might take 100 years to get up 6 feet. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just adding that to my forte. I love trees. Yes, I am a tree hugger. I don't think the world has enough. So, but anyway, these oak trees are mingled in with pine trees and some other trees. And if you buy lots where this is at, a lot of people cut them down. But then there's the other ones that like to come through and do the natural thing and just take out minimal. So, all right, well, this is Jeff of the Dutchman's Wood Shack. I'm going to do more tree stuff later if I can. Don't know what's going on this afternoon yet, so we don't know if we're traveling around or not. But anyway, we're busy working on that thing over there. We'll see. You guys have a great time, and I know I never forgot. I'm still doing woodworking, but I'm just doing it in a different way. God bless. Have a great week.